Hello traders, today is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. As per usual, keep in mind this content is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Please do your own research before you invest your money in any type of investment. Let's start the video with AMD. And I mentioned AMD 2 days ago on the 12th, well, not 2 days ago, 2 trading days ago, I guess, on the 12th. So I was looking at this candle right here. One of the things that I've been saying on X and also on my videos is that it is a good possibility that we're going to go down towards 121. I think if we break under 121, then this thing is going to get nastier than what already is. Let's take a look at the drop that we have seen since this point right here, which is July up until now. We have gone down almost 35%. That is pretty insane. Anyways, your point of support right now is 121. I think we're going to hit that, considering the fact that buyers actually weren't able to take control today, even though you closed, higher than where you opened. You still had, or you still went down 1.32%. This is not looking good, at least for now. I do believe that there's going to be an opportunity. I think there's still an opportunity here at this area if we actually get a nice rebound with momentum towards going back towards 134. But 121 right now is your point of resistance, of support. I'm sorry. And if you break under 121, then things are going to get pretty sticky. MACD and TSI are actually looking bearish. RSI is not oversold. We're very close to the 30 line, but we definitely have more room to continue going down. Let's zoom out a little bit and see. The volume shelf doesn't look bad at all. You have lower liquidity under 121, which is a problem. So keep an eye on this area. I think it's critical that the support area of 121 or 122 is actually maintained. And if it's not, I think this is just going to continue going towards 112 or 111, which is this support area right here. Very critical area in which we are with AMD. I do still have my June calls, which are down. I'm down $455 right now on this. And I think if we are not able to maintain 121, I'm just going to cut him loose and see if there's an opportunity closer towards 112 or whatnot. I do think, however, that there's going to be an opportunity to the upside. We just have to really wait if it's going to be 121 or 111 or 112. Now let's move on to the next name, and that is Bitcoin. I mentioned Bitcoin yesterday as well, and I just like the fact that Bitcoin is maintaining this momentum. It's not like rallying like we did here. Sometimes when I see these kind of candles, I either wait for a consolidation, which we have seen here, or to a pullback. So, indicators and the chart itself looks a little bit healthier. And in this case, we actually got a consolidation between 100 and 91. And, this thing keeps moving. It's moving very nicely. Don't be surprised if we actually come down towards 100 again or towards a 35 SMA. That will be fine. We have been talking about Bitcoin since we were at 52, which was somewhere, I think I had a level down here or something. But then we moved up very nicely. I think I stopped talking about Bitcoin for a minute when we were breaking this area right here. And in my opinion, it was pretty obvious that it was going to continue going up. And then I was, focusing something else. I hold Bitcoin. I think it is right now going to continue moving at least all the way until probably January or February, unless something really crazy happens before the inauguration of Trump. But other than that, if we put those fears apart, which I think, you know, it's just, you know, people talk, in my opinion, for now. I do think that 120 is not too crazy. I mean, the highest we have gotten so far is 108. So we're not that far. We're $12,000 away from it. So 120 is very possible. It's actually possible that we were probably gonna hit 120 by end of the month, beginning of next year. That is very possible. Keep in mind that Powell is talking tomorrow. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to be too affected with interest rate decisions that we're going to get tomorrow. But I don't know. I think that this is going to keep moving towards 120, probably faster than what we think. Now we have a pretty solid possibility. Then we're going to go down and retest 100 and then continue moving to the upside, which is also pretty healthy in my opinion. But as what it looks, I think that we can continue moving towards 120. MACD and TSI, as I said yesterday, are not looking bad at all. The RSI is maintaining flat on the 70 line. That's also good. But even if it breaks and continue going up, just like what you saw here, that doesn't really mean that the rally is going to stop. I just like to see smaller, slower moves to the upside, because that tend to actually give you an indication that, you know, there continues to be a bullish momentum and more buying. There is other stocks, or there are stocks that are going to be affected, as I mentioned yesterday. CLSK, in my opinion, is going to benefit from further, you know, upside momentum from Bitcoin. MicroStrategy for sure. I'm going to mention that at the end of the video. And then we have Coinbase and Mara and Riot, and all of those are definitely going to benefit. Mara is definitely something you should keep in your shortlist. Okay, let's move on to, and I'm going to be brief with Celsius. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning Celsius is not because I think it's a great opportunity right now. The reason is because I see a lot of people on X saying that this is the time to buy Celsius. I mean, technically they are not wrong, but I feel uncomfortable when you have people that have hundreds of thousands of followers, especially this one guy. His name is Jake something, whatever. He has, I think, 400,000 followers or something. And he's telling his followers and it's time to invest on this thing. I think it's silly to do that. And I think it's irresponsible. I don't think it's a good time, in the fact that it's not showing you anything. It's not showing you strength. It's not showing you breaking any level of support or resistance. So even if you want to short it, I wouldn't short it right now either. But I don't want to go long. The only thing that I'm seeing here is you're maintaining the 35 SMA, which is fine. But in reality, I don't think this is tradable. And I keep saying this: if you don't break 35.7 or 35.5, let's put it that way. If you don't break that level, why even suggesting to your followers that this is a good opportunity? I mean, basically what you're telling people is like, well, let's try to anticipate the move and take the risk. Which the problem is that a lot of these traders that you see in X, some of them are very successful, not because of trading, it's because they have a lot of followers, and they can use that capital to actually risk more than what other people can. And if the move happens, then they look like heroes. But in reality, if you are somebody who has an account that is like, let's say, $10,000, and you don't know how to trade, or you don't understand trading very well, and then you decide to put, bad idea in my opinion, if you decide to put $5,000 into this, whether if it's in options or whether if it's on stock or shares, then you're stuck. You're stuck with it. You're either going to lose money, or you're going to have to wait a long time to get your money back. I think that Celsius long term is going to continue moving up, but for now, it's not a good entry. So that's the only reason I guess I'm mentioning Celsius, is because I'm seeing some trading people with a lot of followers saying that this is the moment. It is not. I think if you think about anticipating the move, well, that sounds to me very responsible. I would wait for a couple of things. I want to see the behavior that we see, well, what we're seeing right now on the 35 SMA, the behavior that you're seeing on this key level right here at 27, it's 26.92, but let's say 27. And then you want to wait, if you want to go long, on breaking this level right here. And then you're probably going to have a move towards 45. Now, the reason why I also think that is important is because you have a lot of volume right here. You have a lot of liquidity here. So this move has to be very strong in order for the stock to continue going towards breaking this resistance level at 35.7, 35.6, 35.5, let's call it. So just be mindful of your money, be smart about it. You know, if you see that the chart doesn't really look good, then there is no need to to do what other traders who seem to look more experienced than you are suggesting you to do. You know, just be patient. You know, there's setups that show up literally every day. You get setups in stocks that you can take advantage of. So Celsius for now, you know, you still have to keep an eye on this range between 35.7 and 27. And if it doesn't break to either way, if it breaks to the downside, still don't touch it. In my opinion, you know, this whole move is gone. But to the upside, my personal opinion is I don't want to touch it until we break 35.5. If we do, then I'm interested on this move. And but until then, I'm just gonna wait. So be mindful and be very careful on how you receive and digest a message from people online, including myself. So just do your own research, as I always say. Now let's move on to CVX. And it's funny, I said I was going to be brief on Celsius and I took 5 minutes on it. This is not looking good. You're right on CVX. You're right on 147. You feel this gap. I think I mentioned this yesterday on X. MACD and TSI are looking super bearish. RSI still has more room to continue going under the 30 line. There's really, let's take a look at the 5 minute and see how this behaves. Pretty much you touch this level right here. Levels work. Keep reminding you that, and then you hit this level right here, and then you went up again. One of the things, Oxy is also not looking too good. I haven't seen XOM and XLE, but my assumption they are behaving very similarly. I think that, you know, if this continue to go towards 40, which I would be very surprised if we continue going towards 40, but if we do, that might be actually a good thing, because eventually this sector is going to move up. Once the Trump administration comes around and they put some deregulations and we get to, drill for more oil and be more energy independent, and then probably start selling more oil and gas to Europe and whatnot, things are going to really change for these companies. But for now, just keep this whole sector in your watch list. I think there's going to be an opportunity. The opportunity might be already here, which is at 147, and you might get, a reversal towards 151, and then beyond that, that would be fantastic. But now, if you go towards 140, boy, that would be fantastic. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I think this move is going to continue under the support level. I'm not sure exactly if we're going to go all the way down towards 140, but I think we're going to break support. You have quite decent amount of liquidity here, so this move is probably going to be a little bit slow. We'll see what happens towards the end of the week. And the reason why I am saying that the move to the downside is probably going to continue, I'm saying probably, is because the MACD and the TSI, especially the TSI, are looking very bearish. The divergence that you see on the TSI and the move that you see here that coincides with this candle right here, which is interesting, is telling you that the strength of the stock right now, of the candles, is bearish. Again, just keep an eye on support. If this shows signs of reversal, that will be fantastic. But then you have another critical level, which is 151. If you don't break that, You might be retesting resistance and then continue going down. That's also very possible. This sector is going to be interesting. I think this is going to give us a nice gift in a few weeks from now. Okay, let's move on to a name that I basically never mention, and that is GameStop. So let's talk about GameStop for a second, and let's zoom out. I don't have any. Let's put a level right here because it's pretty obvious in my opinion. So you have this, you have that. Nope. Let's go with this wick right here. Yeah, fair enough. I think first glance, what I see is a double top, but I also see that if you break this level, which we're trying to break this level at 31, we might see a continuation. There is a very low liquidity in this area. That is very good. And then you have a lot of liquidity under 31. So I think if you break 31, you're probably going to move with momentum. Now, the problem that I have with this stock is that it's not in fundamentals and also in technical levels, it is not very predictable, which makes things very difficult. But if we focus on the technicals, it's not looking bad in the sense that you have to break resistance before this move, before a continuation to the upside. MACD and TSI are not looking bad. The RSI already crossed the signal line, which is also a good thing. But I think if you get rejected here, then the double top formation would actually start to make more sense. Let's take a look at the weekly, and the weekly doesn't look bad at all. So we'll see. We'll see how this develops. I don't think that it's not a stock that I would personally trade, but a lot of people are very enthusiastic about this name. This name, obviously, for retail investors like ourselves, has a lot of history and a lot of damn nostalgia, in my opinion. But that being said, there might be opportunity to make money if depending how much adverse to risk and how much tolerance to risk you have, you might actually be able to make money if we break this level and then momentum comes in. The last 2 days I wouldn't say the last 2 days. The last month and a half has been pretty solid, even longer than that. Yeah, the last, let's say 3 months almost have been very solid for GameStop. Let's go here from September, I believe that is. You've been up almost 50%. That's very good. Another thing that I like is it hasn't been a move like this craziness right here that we saw in the beginning of the year, I think, of this year. It is more steady and slow paced, and I love to see that in stocks. It makes more sense to me to trade something like this because, again, it looks healthier than this crap right here. Like this for me is a madhouse. I can't trade that. Doesn't go with, I would just go crazy with this, but this looks very nice. So let's wait if we see a break towards 31. And at that point, you might actually have an opportunity here to take a little more risk. There might be more reward for your risk on this side. But, I just want to say, be careful with this type of trades. If you are familiar with how these trades, these name trades, then maybe might be good for you, but a little bit tough for me, to be honest. But it was worth mentioning. I like the fact how this is moving very smoothly towards this resistance level, and then if we break, that's going to be interesting. If we go down, there might be some pain. Let's talk about HIMS. And let me take a note. I'm still liking this. I'm still liking the fact that, well, a couple of things. Let's go to the 5-minute. You had a nice push from pre-market into the first 10 minutes of opening, and then sellers came in, buyers came back in, but it wasn't enough. You closed the day almost flat, 0.45% to the downside. But what I like, again, and I mentioned this yesterday, is that you are basically bringing more liquidity in this area, which means that if you break to the upside, you're going to have more momentum to the upside. That is a good thing. Another thing that I like is that MACD and the TSI are slowly moving towards the zero line. That is a good thing. So we'll see what is the behavior on this support level at 29.7, and we'll see how we react also on resistance at 35. HIMS still looking very interesting now. Not a position for me to buy calls yet. I would love this to go back towards 25.50, but if it starts consolidating even more here, then I will also find an opportunity here to get in. I think this is just going to continue going up. It's just chilling and looking better, I think, by the day. Now let's move on to IP. I don't know if I have mentioned IP at all in any of my videos, but this is a stock that I was following basically for the setup that I see here. And this is, and I put a post on X on this. This is obviously a textbook double top. You got to this resistance level at 59.50 or 59 or 60, let's say, and then you came down to resistance. You broke the neckline. I'm sorry. You came down to support from resistance. You came down to support, and then you're retesting. You're retesting what is now resistance. I think this is going to continue going down. You have very low liquidity here. You have a price gap. MACD and TSI are definitely bearish. RSI is also looking pretty bad. This is definitely going to move down. I wanted to bring this up just because I really like how this looks. This is really a textbook double top with a retest on it. This looks perfect. Now let's move on to the sector that I think is going to give us a little bit of some gifts, just like the energy sector. And so let's talk about JPM. And you have a gap right here after this pretty nice move that we have right here. I don't remember the event or what exactly happened here that made this. Was it the election? Oh, it was election. Okay, so then you had this nice move right here, all-time highs, and now you're coming down under the 35 SMA. MACD and TSI are not looking good. The RSI also is looking terrible, and you have low liquidity here. I think that there is a good chance and you're going to go down towards 225. It's that simple, which is this area right here on support. And even if you break support, you might get some resistance here. You have more liquidity and whatnot. So 225, I think, is it makes sense to me right now. But that would be fantastic because you would probably retest or bounce out of this level right here and then continue going up. The whole sector, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Capital One, are looking bearish, but I think this is just temporary. And I think this is going to give us another nice move as we saw here. And actually all the way down here, it's just taking a nice breather, a very much needed breather that is going to bring us some opportunities later. Just keep an eye on this sector as much as you can, as well as the other sectors that I mentioned before that might give us some, like the energy sector. I'm sorry, because I was talking about CVX earlier. I think there's going to be opportunities maybe by the end of the year or the beginning of next year. We'll see. And that's why you have to have a short list of stocks or sectors that might flip, and the cycle of investment sooner than later is going to come back to them. So I think energy and finance is one of those sectors that are going to give us some nice opportunities in the upcoming weeks. And then let's move on to where are you? Lucid. I mentioned Lucid yesterday. It's funny because yesterday I said, I don't see Lucid cars as usual. And surprise, I was in the freeway before this video. I was coming back home and I saw a couple of Lucid cars driving around me, which was like, okay. Anyways, you're still under this, round bottom formation, which is a formation that I really like. You did break I would guess at some point in the beginning of the trading session. Yeah, you did. And then you came down. Let's see how this trades on the minute. I remember when this stock was like super liquid, like everybody was trading this thing. And anyways, we'll see if this breaks. Now you're going to get resistance at the 200 SMA. It's very possible if you continue moving up. And but if you break that 200 SMA, you're going to feel this gap, and we'll see what happens after that. You don't have a lot of liquidity on this area, but also fundamentally speaking, this company is a share company as far as the progress that they have done on their cars and whatnot is there. I don't think if they didn't have the Middle East money, they would be gone already. So right now I'm just looking at the technical, and there might be an opportunity here, that the stocks are cheap enough to actually grab a few thousand of them and then just ride it and see what happens at that point. But this would be just an opportunistic swing that might actually come here. Let's see how we break resistance at 275. You are right now at 276, and so you're right of it. Above it. No, yeah, you're right above it. Let's not consider aftermarket pricing. But let's see how we behave when we get to the 200 SMA, and there might be an opportunity here. I wouldn't buy options on this. I would definitely buy. My trade would be stocks, not options. Okay, let's move on to, I made some changes here, and I put a Max 7 on a different list. And the reason why I did this on my watch list is because I've been trading at all these names lately. Okay, let's talk about Meta. It is looking good. I think there is opportunity. Did I trade Meta today? I did. I did trade Meta and Microsoft today. I was trading, if we go to the 1 minute, I was trading this right here, and I tell you exactly where I left. I was trading these candles right here, so I started building my position here. I knew it was gonna rebound, and then I got out on this candle right under the 3, and I was trading the 1 minute, the 1 and the 5 minute, and I got out on this candle right here. That was a whole trade, this whole move. The stock actually continued going up, which is I'm okay with that. I'm okay with leaving money on the table. I'm okay selling on the strength, and I would strongly suggest thinking about that. But anyways, I think this looks very nice. I think it would be fantastic, and I think I mentioned that on one of my videos, past videos. If we go down towards 600, 603, that's what I have here. But let's say 600, give or take. Since you have low liquidity here, you're probably going to continue, or you could continue going towards this area. That would be super nice because it's going to give an opportunity for another leg up. I think even if you break this, you'll probably have, you might bounce on the 35 SMA, which would be even a better opportunity if you come in. Now, the reason why I'm saying that you might break this support level at 306, I'm sorry, 603, I'm a little dyslexic, I guess, is because the MACD and the TSI are starting to look a little bearish. The RSI is already under the signal line and is also pointing down. So don't be surprised if you see a continuation to the downside. Now, the way that I've been trading lately is I've been trading this type of reversals. I'm using the 5 minute so you can see it with a little more clarity. I was entering somewhere in this candle, somewhere in this wick and the candle. So I started building a position here, and then I got out right under the 325 SMA on the 1 minute. So I've been trading these kind of moves. I've been trading those kind of moves on Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and Apple. But Apple hasn't been. I've been leaving Apple alone a little bit because I think it's at this point pretty extended, and I just don't want to get caught in the middle of it. But look at this beautiful move. But anyways, Meta is looking good on the daily. It looks like it's going to continue going down. I'm not gonna go long on Meta unless I'm day trading, but I think I would definitely deploy some capital into this if we hit 600. and maybe I would start building a position with July or August calls once we hit this level. And I would start very slow because there could be a possibility that you're going to break under 600. Okay, let's move on to the next name, and Microsoft. I was trading Microsoft as well today, and yeah, it was pretty good. I actually did it twice. When on the second run, on the second trade, I just did it for a couple of minutes. I was like, I felt like I was chasing a little bit, so I got out. I was green, but I still got out. So let's go to the 1 minute, and I'll show you exactly what did I trade. And I made less money on this one, but I started placing my position kind of like what you saw on Meta. I started building a position here, and I got out. I think I got out around here, somewhere in this. When this thing started getting flat, I was like, okay, I'm out. So it wasn't a huge trade. I obviously left a lot of money on the table. I give you that, but at the same time, I was like, I just wanna let it, get my money, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to let it play or not, and so I sold. I was obviously green, and I actually was happy with my position, and then I got another one, and this is the one that made me feel a little uncomfortable. I got another one around here. I thought this was actually gonna move to the upside, so I bought a position here. I think, yeah, here. And I was like, okay, this is going to go great. And I started going heavy here. So I was like, this started going down. I bought a little more over here. But once I was somewhere around here, I was like, you know what? I really feel like I've been chasing this, especially on this move. So I just went out. So I think I got out on this candle right here, or in one of these candles right here. I don't remember very well. This move to actually continue going up, which is fine. But I just didn't feel comfortable with my entry. So I felt like I was just chasing. But I added more to the gains that I made. Now, if we go to the daily, I think this definitely, as I said before, has momentum to continue going to the upside. Now you're getting into an area that has low liquidity, which is fantastic. I think even if we get a little bit of red, which would be actually great, even if we retest, I think we're going to hit all-time highs. As I said yesterday, when Microsoft moves, it really, really moves. You can see it here, you see it here, you see this whole move right here, you even see it here. So keep that in mind. It's looking strong. It's really looking strong. For now, I'm just day trading it, and it's working out for me very well. But even if you have July or June or July contracts, those would probably work out very nicely on this name. Now let's move on to the last one. I thought I was going to talk about NVIDIA, but no. NVIDIA, by the way, is under 130, which was my price target. So we'll see how that behaves. I'm not touching NVIDIA, but there's going to be definitely an opportunity for NVIDIA. Sorry, I'm just looking for the MicroStrategy, and I don't know where it is. Where is it? There you are. Okay, MSTR. Let's talk about this. So yesterday I posted on X about this setup right here. Now, there's two things that I'm seeing here. Let's start with candles. So you have this pattern right here. You're coming back to this trend line, but I'm just gonna get rid of it. And the reason why is because what I'm seeing that I think is more obvious is this range right here, going between 441 and 361. And one of the things that I mentioned on X, because I did write a few things about MSTR, is that if you break under this, you're possibly going to encounter 280, which is down here. But if there is momentum, and don't be surprised that momentum comes back to this name, then you're just gonna rally. You're just gonna keep going towards 500 and beyond. So be mindful of that. Right now, I think based upon the MACD and the TSI and the RSI, we're looking a little bit bearish, but I think that is temporary. I think if Bitcoin is pushing a little bit more and people start allocating capital into MSRT, then you're gonna see a nice, powerful move. I like the fact that you had this incredible rally right here out of a round bottom. Look at this. So at one point I was probably talking about this. That's interesting. I didn't see my own. So you had this move right here, and then you rally really hard, and now you're consolidating here. This is a very good sign. You're getting more liquidity here, and I do believe that this level right here at 361 support is very, very critical. Once you hit it, if you do, you're going to be on the 35 SMA as well. So that's also critical. But the level itself is the most important part. If you break it, my assumption is that you're going to go down towards 280. That's very simple. And there might be an opportunity actually there if you go down that low. But if you break 441, then you're probably going to rally again. There's low liquidity here. You're going to enter into price discovery, and then things might get very volatile. We have seen that since September of this year, and basically was non-stop from what, 114 to 500 and something, 530, 547. That's insane. So, or 540. Keep that in mind. Critical to maintain 361. And but I love the fact that this is, consolidating here. Then this is coiling up, and this is gonna get tight. That's beautiful. Another thing that I'm seeing right now is like, this was a nice bear trap. It got bought up again and then consolidated on this area right here. So that's all I have for you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.